Hey y'all, and welcome back to Bourbon and Bones. If you're new to our channel here, welcome, and if you're a faithful follower, welcome back. So first I wanted to say thank you all so very much. As of today, we have 100 subscribers, and that's a huge milestone for us, for a little channel like we have here. So thank you for all your likes, your shares, and your subscribes. And so, to reiterate, please like, share, and subscribe if you like what we're doing. Also join us on Facebook and Instagram. We're always trying to get in touch with more of our fans there. So tonight we are going to do 3 Halloween cocktails. Just for you all a week ahead of time, so you have a little bit of time to get together, make some plans, and get some ingredients together for your cocktails. First of all, we're going to start off with what's called the skeleton key. And surprisingly enough, the girlfriend has finally found a cocktail that she enjoys with bourbon. So let's make it up. I like to start with a rocks glass. So this is a cocktail you can build in the glass, right? You're going to do 1 1/4 ounces of bourbon, and tonight I'm using Wild Turkey 101. Such a great cork sound. You use 3/4 ounce of Elderflower Liqueur. I'm using Drouillard. It's a French liqueur. Angostura bitters, we're going to use 8 dashes of that. And that is a pretty heavy, sorry, I had to count. A pretty heavy aromatic bitter amount, but I think the flavor profile really just sings with it. And to finish, a 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. Right now I like to give this one a little bit of a good stir. Get everything ready to go. Right, and so for the show tonight, what we've done is actually taking a black ice ball just for this cocktail. You want to stir it for about 30 seconds or so, because what you're doing is you're actually adding in a little bit of water into the cocktail and also really chilling it down without over liquefying the cocktail, adding too much water to it. So with that done, you want to add a little bit of lemon right on top there, and finish with a little bit of ginger beer. Tonight I'm using Fever Tree Premium Ginger Beer. You want about 2 ounces, maybe a bit more. It's up to you. How much do you like ginger beer? And just because it's such an episode, a little bit of dry ice. That is a spirited cocktail. Right away on the nose, you get very herbaceous lemon. Not a huge surprise. It is bitters and elderflower, but it has a really welcoming scent to it. It's very refreshing. It's a delightful little flavor. So, yeah, on the palate you get elderflower. You get those little tangy bitter notes. You get this really strong caramel coming from the wild turkey, and this really stands up in a glass. And the smoke makes it real, or steam makes it very, very interesting, because you think you're going to get a whiff of something smoked, and you almost imagine it's there. Yeah, great cocktail. Very kind of spicy, like cinnamon candy spice as well, that kind of brings on with it. Anybody who says, oh, I really like a good heavy herbal cocktail, this is right up your alley. You've got to give this one a taste. All right, so our second cocktail this evening is called the Chocolate Pumpkin Bourbon Cauldron. So this is a really very much a dessert cocktail, so a good way to wrap up an evening. So we're going to build this one in the shaker, and it calls for 1 ounce of bourbon. So I really think Fighting Cock out of Heaven Hill does well. It's 103 proof and a lot of good sweet caramel notes coming out of it. One ounce bourbon, and then you want a 1/2 ounce chocolate liqueur. I'm using Borgata Classic, just chocolate liqueur. Give or take. A 1/2 ounce of coffee liqueur, Cafe Granada. It's a good choice for my liquor store. And finally, a 1/2 ounce of Vita Divine liqueur. It's a Creme de Coco. It's a dark cocoa. I think the white one or the clear would be fine in this. I just think that if you're looking for chocolate color, that you want to go with the dark one. I don't think there'd be a big difference in flavor change though. So play with that. Tell me what you think below. Next up, and this is the fun part. So I'm using Libby's 100% pure pumpkin puree, unsweetened, and we're gonna add about 1 ounce of that. My measurement's been a pretty bold bar spoonful, gives you a good ounce. So you really can make this while you're making pumpkin pie sometime. And finally, 2 ounces of just whipping cream. All right, so one thing I like to do right away is give this what's called a dry shake. That means you're going to shake it without any ice in it. What that does is it allows more things to combine, and particularly with the puree in there, you really want that to mix well before you add ice, so it actually gets it very, very cold, and it can actually clump up really badly. So just a nice little shake, just to kind of get that started to mix. So in here I've added a large rock, followed by small bits of ice. Let's give this a good shake. All right. I always like to put this in a fancier glass because it's a nice little dessert cocktail. Go ahead and gate that right into it. And we are going to finish this with a little bit of Black Cat and pumpkin sprinkles, because why not? And a taste. Off the nose, you get chocolate and chocolate and more chocolate. That is a fantastic smell. On the palate, that is chocolate with a touch of coffee, a little bit of pumpkin coming through, and a very nice caramel and vanilla it has to be coming from the bourbon. Nothing else is carrying that. This is a fantastic dessert. That is so good. I would say, if anyone ever says they don't like cocktails or they don't like mixed drinks, there's no way they could say no to this. This is a dessert, milkshakey, bourbony, just delight. You've got to give this one a try. So for our third and final cocktail this evening, we're going to do the Love Potion number 9. Now this one has a little bit of prep work first. So you're going to make your own simple syrup. And this is 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of whole clove, and 1 cinnamon stick. So what I did is you put that all together in a pot on the stove and let it kind of stay warm for about an hour. Cool it, pour it into here, and you have a really herbaceous simple syrup. Perfect for this cocktail. To make this cocktail, we're going to build it again in the shaker. Use 2 big juicy blackberries. Give those a little muddle. You're going to use 1/2 ounce of your homemade simple syrup. And by the way, clove and cinnamon. That is Christmas all over in one glass. It has this really dark element to it. I think it's why it plays so well. You want 2 dashes of bitters. You want 1.5 ounces of bourbon. So on this cocktail, I've been using Early Times Bourbon&Bones. This one might be a little bit harder for some people to get a hold of, but when you do find it, it's 25 bucks for a liter. So affordability for this entire episode has been well under that $30 mark. So 1.5 ounces of bourbon. And I really think any kind of caramel sweet, 100 proof kind of range bourbon would work well in this. And possibly even the Wild Turkey 101. It's definitely worth the experiment. And finally, you want 4 ounces of black tea. And this is just Lipton's tea that I did up before the show. And you're going to shake this over ice. Don't forget your glass. Something I've been doing all night. You want to gate this. I actually would like to double gate it because you don't want any big old blackberry chunks. And just for another little flash of color, we're going to put a blood red bulldog right into it to keep it nice and chilled. And garnish it with a little bit of rosemary in there. All right, so the Love Potion number 9. So you definitely smell, of course, the rosemary right off the top. But you also get a little bit of that bitter scent and a little bit of black tea-ness. On the palate, you get this little tangy burst of the blackberry. You get this very herbally clove blending with bourbon, kind of a nuttiness, a caramliness. And even with the rosemary kind of working in with the taste, it's almost like a chai tea kind of bourbon cocktail. This is very aperitif-like. So definitely like before dinner or in between courses, this is a really nice cocktail. I'm not sure if you'd want more than like one of them at a time, but this is a really good cocktail. I like this one a lot, actually. So we wanted to thank you tonight for joining us here at Bourbon and Bones, and hope your Halloween is safe and full of candy and great cocktails. If you like what we're doing here, like, comment, and subscribe below. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, links below as well. And all the cocktails you've seen here tonight are, surprise, surprise, in the description below. If you try them out, drop us a line, tell us what you think. And remember, share bourbon with someone. Ghoul night.